Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our host, Tracy Wilson.
All right, good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Did everybody get, oh yes, all right, we'll take a happy Tuesday. Did everybody get their backpacks? Yes, all right. Well, yesterday, you heard about some solutions that will help take your product ideas from design to final sale. So this morning, the product management team is going to introduce you to some customers who are using those products today. So to get us started, please welcome to the stage Solidworks Vice President of Product Management, Igal Kapstan.
Thank you. If you can't hear me, just get closer. Good morning. So before we start, let's see if you can figure out how many different accents we're going to have on stage today and which countries we're from. So you've been hearing yesterday and the days before about what we're doing with the 3D Experience platform. The goal today is to take you through a journey of why we're doing it, show you different use cases, all the way from beginning to end. Next, please. Here we go. The way you design today, the business processes, are very different from where they were 5 years, 10 years ago. That means we need to give you the necessary solutions and the necessary tools to achieve your goals. How do you take data all the way from the beginning, through design, collaboration, simulations, all the way to market? The way your customers expecting to buy today are different from the way you used to sell before. How do we leverage digital data, 3D data, through the entire life cycle? To achieve those goals and develop new tools, we needed to change internally as well. So you've been hearing about our strategy for the last 2 days. Today, we'll try to give you a little bit more insight, what drives us internally, and how do we change our own processes, our own development process, our own thinking to achieve those goals. There are one thing that drives us most. We want to not limit you to innovate. We don't want the tools or the capabilities to be any barriers for you. So inspiring innovation is key for us. 3 things drive us when we make decisions about, back please, here we go. 3 things drive us, I think the batteries are on, drive us when we make decisions about what we do, what our priorities are, what we invest in. Listening to the market. And listening to the market, it's not just getting, oh, we need this feature, we need that feature. It's listening to the entire ecosystem, to the process. How do you do business today? How do we become a business partner with your company? Just a functional product is not enough anymore today. We live in the age of experience. And it's not because we call it 3D Experience platform, it's because everything is experience. When you buy a car today, you're not buying a tool that takes you from point A to point B. The car companies sell us a driving experience. The coffee companies, a coffee-making experience. We want to be your partners in providing you the experience you need to achieve your goals. It means using the latest technology available, and not just the one we started using many years ago. And everywhere you look today, the way software is developed today is very different from the way it was done before. And that means we need to adopt as well. It's all about integration. If you look at any of your mobile devices, your mobile device is a platform with thousands of applications. The beauty of them is each application is written by a different brand or a different company, but they can all talk to each other because there is a common data model. Starts sounding familiar to you, right? It's exactly the story we're trying to bring to the design world from the mobile world. And it's all about automation. And when I mean automation, whoa, back, please. I didn't click. When I mean automation, I don't mean automation of manufacturing. I mean automation of design as well. So when we do something over and over again, geometry today is a commodity. Everybody knows how to create geometry. But if I do the same operation over and over again, I want the tool to learn. I want the tool to do things for me to reduce the human error. So if I'm a furniture manufacturer in this case, and I put wheels on those chairs over and over again, learn and do it for me. So next time I come, I guarantee my work and I'll be way more productive. Automation also means, remember we said geometry is commodity. So we're doing very well in creating geometry today. But why, instead of creating geometry, why don't we do functional design? Don't just create extrudes and fillets and chamfers. Tell the system, here are my input points, here are my interfaces, my bounding boxes, my loads, the environment condition I want to work in. Let it do the geometry for you. And with the 3D printing capabilities today, organic shapes are no problem for manufacturing. Drawings are a great way to communicate between people. Machines don't need drawings. Machines don't understand drawings. We create drawings because of historic reasons, purely because of history. Take model-based engineering data, communicate directly to the machines to create your parts. Again, autonomous manufacturing. The platform enables us to do all that. With individual monolithic tools sitting on each machine cannot support this kind of workflow. So what we'll do today, I'll invite my colleagues to tell you different use cases. You'll see different customers using some of the solutions that are available today to show you the use cases and the value. Our goal is for you to say, I like what I see. It may be very beneficial for me. Let me go check it out. I'll see you later about the accents.
Thanks, Yigal. I think that's accent 1, then, right, if we're counting? All right, so let's get started on this journey. First up, to tell us all about design ideation, is Director of Product Portfolio and Business Developments for Solidworks, Andreas Kulik.
It's a beautiful day. Sky falls, you feel like it's a beautiful day.
Thank you, Tracy. Good morning. You know, one of the many things that I always look forward to at this event is the Partner Pavilion. And last night didn't disappoint. There are so many products and services driven by ideas, by imagination. It's always so inspiring. Albert Einstein once said, that imagination is more important than knowledge. For knowledge is limited to all we know and understand, while imagination encompasses the entire world and everything there ever will be to know and understand. Now we know that imagination and knowledge are intrinsically intertwined. One leads to the other. In today's ever-evolving digital and connected world, where information is so readily available to us and comes at us at such high frequency and such high volume, we must find better ways to communicate, to connect with it, and to make it accessible to everybody. And that is what the 3D Experience platform is all about, and we are very excited to make it available to you. Let's take a look at a video.
We are living in an ever-evolving digital age where inspiration and ideas to drive innovation are everywhere. To deliver tomorrow's innovations, better solutions are needed that are capable of connecting imagination, data, and knowledge with the right people at the right time. Social media has changed the way we communicate with each other, and 3D Experience Social Collaboration Services brings that comfortable mode of communication to the business world, powered by the 3D Experience platform. The 3D Experience platform is a business experience platform providing applications and services for every team in your ecosystem. From engineering and manufacturing to marketing, sales, executive offices, and more. It allows you for the first time to centralize information from various sources and enables data-driven decision-making. It digitally connects all stakeholders, enabling collaboration across the entire ecosystem. And it allows you to securely store and share relevant data easily, anytime, anywhere. Social collaboration services is a better way to empower innovation and manage your business by connecting employees, partners, and customers across your ecosystem to collaborate so that you can build and deliver the best products and experiences for your customers. Because if we connect imagination with knowledge, we empower our community to drive innovation.
The 3D Experience Platform provides you with a broad spectrum of applications and services so you can innovate with a higher degree of confidence. It connects everyone to the innovation process. It enables collaboration across the entire ecosystem, the sharing of ideas. Seamlessly store and share any content, unlocking the realm of data-driven decision-making. And social collaboration services is the entry point providing essential collaboration apps. Dashboards are the central hub for your team to collect information, to share it, to make it available to everyone seamlessly, anywhere, on any device. Communities, 3D Swim, is the place where imagination and knowledge come together, enabling real-time collaboration globally, anytime. And 3D Drive allows you to store and share any content your teams create in the process. I want to show you just how easy it is to work with these 3 apps. Dashboard creation is simple. Single click of a button. Let's create a metric dashboard. Let's drag and drop some files into 3D Drive. Select some apps on the platform to build a dashboard for the team or the extended ecosystem. Let's build some charts. Drag and drop the content from 3D Drive and start configuring your chart widgets. Fully customizable, all online. Line charts, stack charts, pie charts. Configure it the way you like it, the way your team works best in consuming that kind of content. You can build beautiful dashboards with this. No longer do you have to send emails with reports. Send people to the dashboards that everybody has access to on their desktop, while they're on the road, while they're working with clients. Share files to 3D Drive or post the latest collateral of your products for marketing. And the best part, you can share this with everyone. These are beautiful dashboards. Information accessible on time in real time. This is not limited to just business data. It works with Solidworks data as well. Drag and drop your design files into 3D Drive to have your extended team collaborate in real time. Leveraging 3D Swim to communicate and evolve ideas to get a design made. Simple and easy, accessible anytime, anywhere. So that is social collaboration services. 3 core elements any organization, any team takes advantage of all day. Centralizing information and data, collaborating across the entire organization and ecosystem, and securely storing and sharing any content your teams create in the process. Join our team today. We have 2 dedicated breakout sessions, one at 1:30 today, one on Wednesday at 2:45, talking all about our collaboration apps and services on the 3D Experience platform. If you want to discover more, visit my Solidworks. We have made a lot of 3D Experience content available for you. And for those of you who want to get started now, visit solidworks.com/scs and request access, and our team will get in touch with you. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the program.
It's a beautiful day. Sky falls, you feel
Great. Thank you, Andrea. Well, once you have your great idea figured out, it is time to design. So to talk about our youngest designers, please welcome Director of Education and Early Engagement, Marie Blanchard.
I don't know, Igal. I grew up in New York. I went to engineering school in Jersey, and now I live in Massachusetts. I don't know what accent I have, okay? But I do know in the SolidWorks community, our youngest designers are going to face the most challenging problems. And design is critical in all of what we're talking about at SolidWorks World this year. So to see how these young designers would use the new tools that Andreas and Igal have talked about, we created the Shoot for the Moon Challenge. We wanted to see how students would use SolidWorks X Design and the 3D Experience platform. And we went after a group of students that we know very well, those that participate in the FIRST Robotics competition, a challenge that we have sponsored for years. So what did they have to do? With the anniversary of the moon landing, they had to develop a new moon lander in just 48 days. The judgment was based on the design and their creativity. How did they share this with us? And did they have some fun along the way? So, for those 48 days, our 3D Experience Lab back in Boston became Command Central. And under the direction of my colleague, Abhishek Bali, who managed this community, and my very talented engineering interns, we used the platform to communicate the design rules, present tutorials, answer the students' questions, all across the 4 time zones. Anytime, from a phone. And what were the results? We had over 500 students participate, 183 mentors. We had local teams submit some really clever ideas like Andromeda 1 and the Storm Gears up in Massachusetts, 4 teams from Michigan, the Bacon Brotherhood's favorite team, Exploding Bacon down in Florida. And when we saw all the finalists that were judged by Jean-Paulo, Igal, Manish, Muriel, and myself, the dust settled, and the team that won second place was right up the road in Greenville, Texas. It wasn't just any team. This team was the very iconic FRC 148, the Robo Wranglers. They were last year's World Championship team for the FIRST Robotics competition. I have seen the Robo Wranglers perform amazingly in Houston, St. Louis, Atlanta. They are ambassadors of design, of engineering design, to China, Amsterdam, all around the world. Please join me in welcoming the engineering designers that were the leads, Nick Stromberg and Trent Burns. And their team. You brought your team along with you. They're in the audience today. This is great. Thank you. Welcome to SolidWorks World. We're going to come up front here a little bit so everybody can join us. So Nick, how did you get started in the Shoot for the Moon Challenge?
Yeah, so our teacher, Miss Emerson, signed us up, and Trent and I really liked the idea of this challenge, so we jumped right in and started logging into XDesign.
It was pretty quick there. I know I talked to Adrienne last night. She had started a few years ago with a team of 20 Robo-Wranglers. She's now up to 500 students in Greenville. This is a town of 6,000 people. So 500 students are participating in robotics through her high school program, which is amazing. So I have to ask you, Trent, for you started out, how did you see the value of XDesign?
So XDesign was really useful for all of our ideas. Everything we needed to do was easy to sketch out and plan. So we were able to really get in there and get to work as fast as we could without wasting time.
And you guys created a really cool story around the design. Nick, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so our lead engineer, John, got kidnapped by aliens, and so we have to design a lander to pay a ransom, which is our 2008 world champion robot Tumbleweed, in exchange for his return.
Yeah, so hence why they got some points there for creativity. I know there's been plenty of aliens in my day that used to come into the machine shop and take my designs, and they weren't so good sometimes. We had to do them over again. Let's talk a little bit about the design here. Well, I'm sorry, go back, I pressed too hard. So you're talking with your teammates, you're using the swim community, you're posting your models. Where did this design come from?
We just kind of started working. So we went with the whole storyline aspect, so we wanted to make it as fun as possible. So we just had fun with it.
That's great. So the model comes up, you're telling us, you're sharing. I think I was in Japan when I saw this post. And then you created an awful lot of parts, assemblies, sub-assemblies. You had some Solidworks experience before that. And how many parts and assemblies did you create here?
Quite a few. We had about like 50-some parts and over 10 assemblies that we all put into one.
Yeah, and this is, again, over the 48 days. So let's take a look at this animation here. Oh, I'm sorry, before we get to the animation, you had some problems. I know you talked about this in the community, in the swim community. What was going on there?
Yeah, so our idea to drop Tumbleweed off wasn't working with our original lander, which you saw like a slide before. So we decided that we wanted doors that were like this DeLorean-style door that would raise up, and then a ramp would deploy so that Tumbleweed could drive off. And at first, we thought that this concept would be really hard, but XDesign had all the tools to take that profile and make those doors and get all mated right in that assembly.
So you were inspired a little bit by Back to the Future, and now you got the future right here in front of us. That's pretty cool. So now let's take a look at the animation. So this Trent, this is all the parts, all the sub-assemblies coming together. How long did it take you guys to do this?
We spent about all 48 days.
All 48 days. That's awesome. That's awesome. This is terrific. So I got to ask Nick, you're a junior. What are your plans for the rest of this year? I think you got a little contest coming up?
Yeah, for the rest of this year, we got bag in 7 days and the rest of the competition. So this year, yeah, just focus on robotics until it's over, I guess.
And Trent, what are you going to do at the end of this year? You're a senior.
So I'm heading off to college at UT Dallas to study mechanical engineering.
Wow, that's great. Isn't that great? I love hearing that. Besides, mechanical engineering is the best one. I can say that. So I invite you, as you have seen the Partner Pavilion, go over to the Education Zone. You can see what the Robo-Wranglers have created. In addition, you can see the students from UT Dallas, UT North Texas, Baylor University, planes, cars, boats, what they all design. And also, we have 25 students here from the Akruti Design Challenge in India. So all around India, we had a contest there last year. We've brought the finalists here on a humanitarian efforts for what they are doing for their country. What students are doing in design, in SolidWorks X Design and in SolidWorks is truly amazing. Thank you. And thank you for being at SolidWorks World.
Of course, thank you.
Great. Well done. Well done.
Wait, I want to meet you again. Congratulations, that's awesome. Thank you, Ree.
Thank you.
Really excited. Congrats, team. You guys are all over there? Well done. Oh, that was pretty exciting. Cool. All right, well, once you have your design, how do you work with the stakeholders to address any changes? Joining me on stage to tell you how is SolidWorks Product Portfolio Director, Milar Supansky. You got it.
Good morning, everybody. So I don't know why everybody's talking about design here today, but we see that the world of design and innovation is spinning faster and faster every day today. We see a new paradigms of how we bring designs to the market, how we innovate. We see a faster time to market. We see some new exciting collaboration models, and they differ, right? We see the collaboration models that tie global companies tighter together, but we also see models that support dynamic, loosely formed teams to work successfully on those projects with the limited time. We see the new development methods where we work together with the MCAD design, software design, and electronics. But whatever we do, we go through the same steps over and over again, regardless if your company is a small, large, if your product is complex or simple. We tend to stick to the same process over and over again to get just the right quality to the market in the right time. One thing that's common throughout the whole process is actually a collaboration. Collaboration is one of those things that everybody does it, but everybody does it in a slightly different way, right? And the most important one, design collaboration, is the one that connects all of your participants in the design process, your partners, your suppliers, your customers, your colleagues that are in the office next to you or across the globe somewhere else. So to talk a little bit more about design collaboration, I would like to introduce you to a company that is an early adopter in new technologies, some leaders in the design collaboration, and participants in a PLM Collaborative Services Lighthouse program, William and Charles from Square Robots.
Hi, everybody. Good morning.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So guys, the Square Robots, a very interesting name. What do you guys do?
So we started about 2016, and what we do is we design, build, and operate a robot that inspects above-ground oil storage tanks. It's a challenge the industry is facing. These tanks have to be drained. They cut a hole in the side. They send people in, and they do the inspections manually today. So what we're going to do is we're going to take robots, we're going to put them inside, they're going to swim down, and perform those inspections while the tanks are in service. There's quite a lot of tanks in the world. The maintenance is a real challenge the industry faces. There's about 100,000 tanks globally. And we're addressing this problem by using robotics and autonomy versus manual systems.
Okay. So when it goes through the maintenance, what is the kind of cost of companies doing the maintenance on a
Yeah, so to basically drain a tank and get it back into service again, the industry spends about $2 million or so for about a 100-foot diameter tank, and it takes about 3 months to do it.
For one tank?
Yeah, and we can do the tank in about 8 hours.
Wow.
Never take it offline.
So we are talking 100,000 tanks, $2 million, plus all the service around. I'm looking at $6 billion market?
Yeah, it's a pretty big market. Yeah, pretty big market, yeah.
Wow. So what challenges do you guys face when you try to get this dream going?
Yeah, so there's quite a lot. When you think about it, the operating environment we're going in, it's a hazardous operating environment. And then to get in that operating environment, there's a regulatory component. So we have to be hazardous location approved. And then when you think about it, to get through that regulatory environment, we have to go through a pretty compressed development cycle. So you have to get the design out there, get it done fast, we can submit it and get it approved. And one of the challenges we also face is that we're a small team. People are scattered. Charles is in New York based, we're in Boston, we have some teams in Maine. So people are remote, and collaboration is key, especially when you have a compressed development cycle.
Okay, so we met about 3 months back, right? We discussed PLM collaboration services.
Yep.
What made you kind of jump on the opportunity to join us in the Lighthouse program?
So I'll take this. When we were made aware of the Lighthouse program, we had 5 SolidWorks users in multiple locations, like Will said. I work full-time remotely from New York City. And we had just finished designing and building our first article prototype, and we're about to kick off derivations based on sensor payload and our navigation solution. So we were at the point where we really needed a mechanism in order to store and organize revision-controlled CAD data. But the founders have kind of implemented this policy of no local servers. So this solution had to be cloud-based. PLM services happen to hit all those requirements.
It's going to make a sense, right? The startups, you got to move fast. You don't need to manage the hardware and IT.
Can't spend time on IT.
All right, so here we are, 3 months later, right? What has changed? What is your experience?
I mean, 3 months later, I'm happy with the program and the platform. So is the team. We've had instant access to multiple users' data all in one location on the cloud. We've proven that we can synchronize local data sets over long distances with all the data that we've personally put into the cloud. And we've done this with no investment in infrastructure.
Yeah, and also you get to go a little faster, right? You're not spending time doing things that don't really add a lot of value. You're not managing pack and goes. So we get to work a little quicker, and you get to focus on design.
Right. What was the biggest impact?
I mean, what Will just alluded to there is the fact that we're not archiving older vision pack and goes into Google Drive anymore. We're storing everything in one location in the 3D Experience platform, and it does all the configurable revision control management for us. You know, when you're storing pack and goes, it's kind of time consuming for one person. That person happened to be me as the main organizer of the top level assembly to integrate other users' part and assembly pack and goes. Now we don't have to do that at all, and it's all integrated onto the platform.
So you're in New York, right? And we have a team in Boston as well. So what is kind of the most common design collaboration practice you guys have developed over the last couple of months?
I mean, just exactly that. Now you have the ability to have revisions and go backwards compatible to your old regulatory approval. You could branch off from that particular revision. I think it just gives us the ultimate confidence that multiple users aren't going to overwrite someone's work, duplicate work, or for that matter make contradictory changes. It gives us the confidence in the platform.
And from the business point of view, what impact maybe have you seen?
So being able to bring new people on quickly, right? So being able to have people come in and get right into the data really quickly, being able to see the history and revision changes without having to go through sort of a complicated training process, that's one of the big business impacts. Obviously the infrastructure, not having to add infrastructure, manage VPN servers and that kind of stuff, don't want to do that. And then for me, being able to consume data without having to have it be pushed, right? So 3D Play, so Charles can put stuff, I don't have to say, hey, where are we at? I can just go in, look at an assembly, get a good sense of where progress is, maybe ask some questions, and it's not this sort of like stopping time for a sort of continual design review cycle. It's always happening, right?
Right.
It's on me to manage. Right?
So we have a kind of engineering team working on the CAD side and creating designs and models, right? And then we have a kind of business side consuming the data in a very lightweight way, always dynamically updated to the latest version, right? All right, so there's 15 of you today, right? Yep. There is a $6 billion market in front of you. I'm pretty sure somebody in the audience is in a similar situation, have dreams and ideas how to, attack some of the problems they're working on. Any kind of last second advices that you can give to our audience here today?
I mean, I would say 3D Experience PLM Services is that off-premise solution that integrates seamlessly with SolidWorks. I guess I'd throw it back at you. It's like, if you're a SolidWorks shop, why not try the cloud-based offering from SolidWorks that does the revision control for you? It seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense for us. And then for me, being able to access information when I want and not have to stop the design process for a design review, is perfect. I mean, we still have the interviews, but they're very infrequent now. It's not the sort of kind of slow process, right? Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Thank you. So thank you so much. I'm looking forward to working with you in the next step through the Lighthouse program. Thank you, everybody, and hope to see you next year in SolidWorks World again.
Sounds great. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Well, next up in the workflow is to test your designs and see how they would work in the real world. So to hear more, we have SolidWorks Product Portfolio Manager, Nicolas Tillet. You got it.
Thank you so
You're
much,
welcome.
Tracy. Thank you, everyone. No, I don't have an accent. You guys have an accent. All right, thank you very much. We're going to speak about simulation. So as products are becoming increasingly more complex and industries more competitive, there are growing pressures to innovate faster and more cost-effectively. Simulation became a critical advantage for growing companies that push the envelope on product innovation. Many have relied on SolidWorks simulation for years to do just that, innovate. SolidWorks users can now solve complex physics faster with accuracy and confidence. Built on the cloud-based 3D Experience platform, Simulia Structural Simulation Engineer, we call that also SSE, expands SolidWorks simulation. Following a successful Lighthouse beta program, I'm pleased to announce that SSE will be commercially available very soon. And now, please join me in welcoming to the stage one of our Lighthouse participants from Canada, InFocus Energy Services. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Peter Chell-Botten.
Hi, thanks,
Peter.
Nicola.
Thanks for being here. Welcome to SolidWorks World.
It's great to be here.
Thank you so much. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself, InFocus Energy, and also how did you get started with simulation in the first place?
Certainly. So my name's Peter Chell-Botten, and I'm an engineer with InFocus Energy Services. InFocus is a small but fast-growing company based in Edmonton, Canada. And we design innovative drilling and completion tools for the oil and gas industry. We like to design new, disruptive technology. We try and stay away from making those Me Too products, and we try to do things that people say aren't possible, like completely eliminating the elastomer, the #1 cause of failure in a drilling power section. This is a very competitive industry, and if you're not constantly innovating and working on the next big thing, you won't be around for too long. And even with the Canadian drilling industry in a downturn, we're thriving right now, and SolidWorks is a big part of that. SolidWorks is a key part of InFocus, and it has been since the very beginning. It helps us take those aha moments, those ideas, and turn them into working designs. It helps us be agile and to react quickly when needed. And sometimes we do need to react quickly. For example, we got a phone call a little while ago from a customer in the Middle East. And this customer needed one of our high-speed reaming tools. It's a fluid-actuated tool where you pump fluid down it. The tool spins at crazy fast speed, 1,500 to 20,000 RPM, all while jetting fluid. And that takes the cuttings, the debris, and all those jagged hole edges and shoots them back up whole. Well, this customer needed this tool in a size that didn't exist yet, even as a concept. And they needed it on site in the Middle East in 9 days. Impossible, right? Well, we fired up SolidWorks and simulation, and we got to work. We did the design calcs, we scaled the design up to a new size, we adjusted the fits and clearances, and we ran simulations to make sure the critical components were strong enough. And in about 48 hours, we were done the design process. Then we worked with some amazing machine shops, and it's important to keep a good relationship with your vendors so you can call in favors like this when needed. We got the parts built, assembled, tested, torn down, and shipped to the Middle East. And we did it start to finish in 9 days.
Wow. That's impressive. 48 hours, a new design. Of course, you use simulation in your design process, so you guys were like super fast. So it sounds like you're on the top of your game with simulation. When we announced SSE in the Lighthouse program, what made you look for a new solution, such as SSE?
So I've been using SolidWorks Simulation for about 15 years, and it's a really great tool for most of our work. We use SolidWorks Sim Premium for just about everything. It's quick to use. It's very easy to use as well. There's no hesitation to do it. At least once a week, one of the 5 of us in engineering will say FEA, and we'll fire up simulation and get to work. So don't get me wrong, SolidWorks Simulation Premium is an amazing product, and it works very well. But sometimes we need more power. Cases where we have a lot of nonlinearity, a lot of contact, or very large models. Now, when that happens, we need something a little bit more. And last year, we were designing a new drive system for a reflex drilling motor. This was complex geometry, complex contact patches, significant deformation, and in the worst cases, plastic deformation. And we were struggling a little bit with SolidWorks. We were simplifying this model down. We were using symmetry. We were using cyclic symmetry. It still wasn't doing exactly what we wanted it to do. And that's where SSE came in. When we heard about something that took the power of Abacus with a front end and user interface that was as easy to use as SolidWorks, it seemed like a great idea. And it turns out it really was. All these complex surfaces, could we get the next slide? All these complex surfaces interacting with each other, and the general contact algorithm in Abacus worked just perfectly. It took me less than 30 seconds to set up contact for the entire model, which is just awesome. We could also cut our solve times down significantly. SSE lets us solve not just locally, but we can also push it off to the cloud and solve using high-performance computing resources. And that let us take our solve times from these overnight solves down to just a couple of hours. Now, you can also imagine parts like this are not cheap to manufacture. So destructively testing them can add up really, really quickly. And I would say on this one project alone, SSE let us save at least $10,000, and it could be multiples of that. That's just one project we do. We can easily work on 8 or 10 different projects a year, so you do the math.
Wow, so you're using SolidWorks Simulation, SSE. I mean, it's such a successful story. It's wonderful. So a lot of designers and engineers here would like to do simulation. I hear that a lot, but they are a little bit, they can be intimidated by simulation. What would you have to say to them? What kind of recommendation or tips would you have to say to your SolidWorks fellows here?
Well, simulation is definitely a key part of the design and the engineering process at InFocus, and it's because we like making data-driven decisions. Even really simple studies can give you a lot of great insight, but complex studies can actually give you more insight than physical testing can. You can pause, you can zoom in, you can rewind, fast forward, you can look at any parameter you want from any angle you want, and there's no physical test setup that can do that. So whether it's a quick gut check on a concept to doing a complex analysis on complex geometry, simulation gives us answers. We use those answers to make decisions, and that helps us make sure the tools we're putting out the door are the best tools possible. So simulation is absolutely worth the effort. Now, simulation is definitely worth the effort. If you're trying to get into simulation, but you think it's too hard, it doesn't have to be. There's a ton of resources out there. Talk to your reseller. Look at mysolidworks.com. And especially, I would say the resellers. Your reseller has a lot of experience getting companies and people into simulation the right way. But it's also the information age. There's YouTube, there's blogs out there. There is a ton of information if you look for it, and it's a lot easier than you think it is. So at InFocus, SSE and other simulation tools are a competitive advantage for us. Simulation helps us stay on the leading edge of drilling technology, and that's where we want to be.
All right, thank you so much, Pete. I just want to say that we have a hands-on this afternoon at 1:45 or 2:45, and Pete is going to speak also on a breakout session on a Wednesday afternoon at 1:30. So thank you so much, Pete.
Thank you, Nicola.
Thank you very much.
Great job, great job. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Really exciting stuff, wow. Well, now your product is ready to send to manufacturing. Yesterday, you heard about some new tools from IQMS. So today, to explain more, here's SolidWorks Senior Manager, Product Portfolio, Mike Buckley, and Chief Marketing Officer, IQMS DamiaWorks, Steve Bazat.
Thanks, Tracy. Appreciate it. How you doing, Mike?
Good. How are you doing today?
Good, man. Good to see you.
We got a full house. It's a good place, huh?
Yeah, I can see everybody, too. How many people saw the shop floor exhibition in the partner pavilion with the machines, cutting tools, and everything? Pretty cool, huh? Let's give Mike a round for that. He led that effort, man. That guy's making that drill thing in 9 days, and Mike basically put that whole thing together in about 9 days, too, so it was a great effort. So why don't we take a look at that same sort of idea in real life at one of our customers, at ProCharger.
Sounds great.
All right, man.
Accessible Technologies designs, manufactures, and markets turbo machinery, primarily superchargers for the aftermarket automotive industry. We utilize IQMS across virtually our entire business, from CRM through purchasing, inventory, production, through ECOs. We've also used Solidworks for approximately as long as we've used IQMS, and it's obviously a fantastic tool. We're an engineering firm, product development firm. That's an integral tool for what we do. To have those two more integrated is fantastic. It's the heart of what our company does. We design quite a few complex parts. We also manage the product over time throughout its life cycle, and the feedback we get from customers regarding potential improvements is just invaluable, having that direct relationship and getting that information. And so the ECO process within IQMS allows us to translate that feedback into improvements in an effective fashion.
When a new model year comes out, we bring in 1 to 3 to 4 beta cars. The engineers take some rough measurements. They go back to the computer, and inside SolidWorks, we start to design. Those drawings then become 3D. We utilize a 3D printer, and those become mock-up parts that come back out to the car. Once that is proven to be a reliable solution, when we go back to IQMS, and we generate bills of materials and put the ECO process into place. And then once into full production, again, IQMS takes over, manages the workflow to the shop, and then ultimately takes the order and ships it out the door to the customer. By having IQMS and SolidWorks, it tremendously speeds up that development process. We pride ourselves in being first to market, and so time is of essence, and having the right tools in the right individual's hands ultimately gives the product out to the public as fast as possible. There's nothing like owning a brand new car with a brand new ProCharger.
To be a leader, you have to work hard, without a doubt, but to be a leader over time, you have to work smart, and that combination of both IQMS and SolidWorks helps us work smart.
All right.
So you see a cool company like that, the first question I always have is, what type of benefits do companies usually see by implementing IQMS?
All right, so for those of you in the audience, just a basic primer on IQMS. It's manufacturing ERP. It's aimed at the what's called mainstream market or the mid market. Think of businesses between $10 million and $250 million. It provides an end-to-end manufacturing experience, if you will. Everything from the accounting, the order management, the production planning, the production execution, the management of quality, on into the shipping and fulfillment process. So what it does for a manufacturer is it gives them end-to-end visibility of that process, gives them end-to-end accountability of the costs that go into the process and the results that come out of the process, so they can deliver what I think of as an excellent manufacturing experience to their customers.
Okay. So being a manufacturing nerd, we talked about the shop floor. One of the things that's always interesting to me is real-time data tracking of machines. Can you talk a little bit more about how that works?
Yeah, I can. So if you take the IQMS products, which is being rebranded as Delmia Works, but I'll call it IQMS for the purposes of this session. If you take that, it's got two key differentiators. One is the end-to-end aspect of it, from accounting all the way to the warehouse. If you're a mid-market manufacturer, you don't have the IT resources necessary to bolt together a bunch of best-of-breed applications to get an end-to-end solution. So we provide the end-to-end piece. In the middle of the process of manufacturing is fundamentally production, because you've got a bunch of planning up front, you've got a bunch of quality, and you've got a bunch of shipping on the other end. But in the middle of it is the actual making of the parts. And so when you talk about shop floor, we call it real time, and real time watches the equipment as it makes parts. and it counts how many parts it makes, how much scrap's going on, what the temperatures, what the pressures, what the parameters were at the time of production, and records all that in real time, but also alerts against deviations from schedules. So you've got a schedule that's scheduled, or a product that's scheduled to be completed at 12 o'clock. That process is running slow. It's not going to end until 3 o'clock. Somebody's got to know that in advance so they can adjust the downstream schedules to that. And that's what real-time does. It watches what's going on and notifies the operating staff of when there's going to be a deviation and suggests changes to accommodate that deviation. And then it back flushes all of that production information into the accounting system, so standard cost, inventory levels, and all that are tracked and kept up to date.
Okay. That's pretty cool because it's a long ways away from an Excel spreadsheet, right? Because when you have to schedule and deliver and all of a sudden you have these hiccups, you gotta know where all that stuff is and how it affects everything.
Yeah, it's true. And actually some of the best code in the system is the scheduling process, because they were talking about how long it took to run a simulation and stuff. So in our world, rescheduling things can take hours, right? But the IQMS system has a drag and drop rescheduler, and scheduling is really important because you've got manpower, you've got resources, and you've got machines, and you've got them stacked up, making things back to back to back to back to back. And when there's a hiccup in that process, everything downstream's affected, right?
Yep.
So the schedule's there, something goes wrong, it readapts the schedule, reallocates all of those resources, and puts them into play in the most optimal effect to get to the end goal, which is fundamentally to deliver to every customer on time a quality product.
And keep everybody from yelling at each other.
And keep everybody from yelling at each other.
So the WWorks IQMS product sounds like it's a really big, wide product that would benefit a lot of our customers.
That's correct.
So as we go through the week, we mentioned the shop floor a little bit, how else can our attendees find out more about this product?
You can find out more today at 4:30 if you can wait that long. And it's at 4:30 in the sessions. And that's about the marketplace and an overview of the marketplace and a little bit about the product. But probably for most of the people in this audience, 8:30 tomorrow morning, there's a product overview and a product demonstration that lasts about 90 minutes. And it's pretty thorough. We did the same presentation on Monday, and we basically had a full house. And I think people enjoyed the time.
Okay. That's great, because we've had a lot of questions at the shop floor about real-time tracking and seeing the dashboard, so it actually sounds like it's going to complement each other pretty well.
It'll be good, and I want to talk just a little bit about the slide that's up on the screen now and how excited the people at IQMS are about the Solidworks. Because I said earlier, we always go to market with this end-to-end concept. Don't do best of breed. Don't forget production monitoring in the middle. You're a manufacturer. Take it from the front door to the back door or the top floor to the shop floor. The ability to add concept design and simulation to that end-to-end solution is like killer for our customers. 65% of them run SolidWorks. The ability to do a lights-out integration on the front end of that process and manage the life cycle of a project is just extremely cool. So now the end-to-end goes from the design floor all the way to the warehouse and fulfillment. So we're really excited.
That's really cool.
All right, man.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Mike.
Yep.
Thanks, Sherman. Thank you. Good job. All right, well, the final step on our journey is to get those products sold. So let's welcome back Yigal to tell you more.
Keep counting, we're not done yet. My father always told me, only the birds sing for free. How do we take data that we created and we actually affect the bottom line of the company? Buying from a big catalog is no longer just the challenge. Here is an example of a table. This table has over 5 million configurations. No one will ever create all 5 million in CAD. Nobody will ever create 5 million in the warehouse. But how do we give the option to a customer to choose from a product that hasn't been manufactured yet? For years, we've been talking about bringing manufacturing as close as possible to the point of sale. How about we're bringing after the point of sale? In a very consumer experience. Next, please. take your 3D data from SolidWorks, from XDesign, from any CAD system, from any subcontractor, put it in your branded website. For many reasons. You can share it internally. You can share it externally. Customers can choose different shapes. They can choose different materials. Behind the scenes, a dynamic bill of material is generated, so you can control dynamic pricing as well, and you can have full analytics behind it as well. So everything your customers do, you know. This can go out through the entire ecosystem of from engineering all the way to e-commerce. How will my product look in the real world? Again, everything is cloud-based, works on every device. Same thing you do on a machine, you can, on a computer, you can, no, go back. Yeah, run this one. Anything you do on any device, you can take your table, customize it. It's not running. Here we go. Okay, perfect. Customize it and see how it will look in your own floor. So fully immersive AR experience right in your tips. The product has not been manufactured yet. It doesn't exist. And you'll see in a second that I can see that my floor is crooked. I have to fix the window. And I have it. You can still change anything you want and still see how it will look in your room. What enables all this is a product that's called SolidWorks Cell. It's been launched for almost over a year ago in production. You can use it in any stage of your life cycle. You're done design, how do you share it internally? How do you share it with pilot projects? How do you share it for A/B testing to predict what next seasons will be changed? Because the seasons changes all the time and products configuration change all the time, you can take it all the beginning from engineering through marketing, market awareness to e-commerce. So take a look at an entire life cycle of such a project. Please allow me to invite Andrew Bonica from Yamaha Guitars.
Don't worry, I'm not going to play today. I think you guys had enough guitar playing yesterday. It's interesting because if I had known there was going to be this much guitar at SolidWorks World, you know, I would have invited more of my colleagues. This is like awesome. I'm in heaven.
So not only freak engineers, right? Geek engineers. Excellent.
Yes.
Okay. So Andrew, what motivated you to look into SolidWorks Cell? What challenges you had that you wanted to solve?
So one of the things, I'm the product manager for electric guitar technology, and one of the challenges in my job is to try to appease and understand what every guitar player needs. But a guitar is a very personal instrument. It's like clothing. You stand up here on stage wearing the guitar, it's like your favorite pair of jeans. It's representative of your image. So how do we figure out how to personalize that for each customer and figure out what's the next line of guitars that we need to make? We're not going to make 5 million variants of guitars, but what we're able to do is utilize this tool early in the development process to then share with guitar players and have them, right from the comfort of their iPhone or tablet, look at different materials and colors and figure out what's appealing to them and what represents their personal image. And then that informs us what we want to go to production with.
Perfect. And I don't play the guitar, so I won't play it either. Again, same thing. Any product you can use with any device to see how it will look. And we actually have some pictures, people holding a virtual guitar in the back. Next one, please. So Andrew, what's the process? So you have your design in SolidWorks. How do you take something which is purely engineering into a very friendly, easy to use, no requirement for any installation web experience?
Perfect. I'll run you guys through it. So I was able to contact our engineers in Japan, and they sent me the exact 3D data for this guitar, which is the Yamaha RevStar. And I was able to take our existing SolidWorks data that we use in production and instantly push it up to the cloud via the SolidWorks Cell add-in and just select the parts, group them as I need to, and literally just hit publish, and it gets pushed up to the cloud instantly.
And when it's on the cloud, full IP protection. None of your IP is exposed. You have full control of what you do. How do you build the experience?
So what we do on the back end, as you can see here on the video, is it playing?
It should. Here we go.
There we go. So as you can see in the video, this whole back end, first of all, it's all web-based, so you don't need to install any software. It's really easy in these tabs to just step through the process and group your parts into what you want to configure, and you don't have to allow your customers to change every single part. That's the beauty of it. You have control over what you allow them to change. So for instance, we looked at 3 different bridge types. We can create our own custom materials, different wood types, different colors and finishes, and really control what we show to the end user and allow them to choose from. Because again, we need to be aware of what we're actually able to produce.
And the secret sauce is, none of the configurations are defined by you manually. It's all done based on business logic in real time. So all the 5 million are actually not saved anywhere. They're created when the customer changes something.
Yeah, and you can see here that the assembly is automatically generated in SolidWorks Cell. I didn't have to do anything. I literally just hit Generate Assembly. And as you can see here, you have full control over the scene that the product, in this case the guitar, is in. And that's really important because things like lighting, especially when you have chrome parts and things with reflections, that really brings the most realism to the product. And when customers, as we've shown this at our trade show a couple weeks ago to customers, when they look at this and feel like it's a truly realistic guitar, they have this emotional connection and they want to buy it instantly.
I'm not a developer. I haven't written code in many years. How do you take an engineering tool, again, and create a website with your branded name?
Yeah, so I'm not a web developer, but this tool is super easy to use. You don't have to know any HTML or anything. As you can see, it's literally just drag on the tools that you want, drag on the preview window, and you can lay it out however you want. And it will generate the code automatically in the background. And we do have a great marketing team. I could hand this over to them and they could tailor it to fit our brand, coloring, our certain image, and embed it on our website how they want. But as a product manager, it's super easy to create this in a matter of minutes, if not seconds.
And those pages are publicly available. You can share them with whomever you want. If you want to put it on your website as an iframe, the code is generated as well. You just give it to your IT people, and that's the result.
Yeah, it's really amazing experience just to be able to implement this immediately. So if we want to add a new color, the beauty of this is you don't have to save, you don't have to upload anything. As soon as you add that new color or that new part, it's instantly available to anyone that has that link. It's really easy.
So as we said, SolidWorks Cell can be used almost anywhere in the life cycle of a product, right from beginning in engineering. Even before engineering is completed, you can start sharing internally or externally, and you can use it later on. To view a full breadth of users from Yamaha, let's watch the next video, please.
It's a really cool piece of equipment. I really enjoy using it. It's great to be able to kind of build your own guitar and have full control over the way that you're constructing things, down to bridge type or scratch plate, even pickups. It's a really, really cool application. I really enjoy using it. I think musicians these days probably more so want to be more in control of what they're building for themselves, and colour options are always good as well. That's a great thing to look at. Let me give you some sound samples.
The tool is really helpful to figure out specifications such as color, configurations, and so on, and to get feedback from customers all over the world instantly. It's really helpful.
We were able to leverage our existing 3D data right from within SolidWorks and push it to the cloud via the SolidWorks Cell tool. This allowed us to instantly try out different colors, materials, finishes, and configurations without ever having to cut a piece of wood or go into the paint booth. This allowed us to get real-time customer feedback and get the results that we needed immediately.
Solidworks Cell is a great tool for us in R&D and in artist relations. Here in this shop, we make all the custom instruments for our artists, so it's a great tool to give to our artists. We're able to send it out while they're on the road, and we can discuss how we want to make their future builds whenever we're making a guitar for these folks. What we're always trying to do is give them a picture in their mind what this new guitar is going to look like. This is perfect for it. They see it in 3 dimensions. Solidworks Cell, it's just easy peasy. You just click on a link and configure how you want. You can take a screenshot or email it to us. It's really been a great tool for us.
And the RevStar range is just perfect. I really, really like it. It's a good balance between sound but not conforming to following the pack. You know, it's blazing its own trail, the RevStar, and I really, really like that. So, top job.
Thank you. Andrew. Okay, good. So you've addressed your product development phase. What's next for you?
So one of the things I just wanted to touch on from the video for a second there was that we talked about being able to instantly try out different designs without cutting a piece of wood. So Pat there in our machine shop, I mentioned the trade show earlier, it takes him about 60 hours to make a guitar because there's a lot of detail, a lot of work that goes into that. And we're able to show all these different configurations in a matter of minutes. That's just hugely beneficial, and instantly the tool pays for itself and the time savings that he has.
Thank you so much. See you next year again.
Yes, thank you so much.
And there are breakout sessions. You can go see Andrew talk about it.
All right.
No, go one back, please.
Thank you. Take care.
Go back.
All right.
So Solidworks Cell is not a vertical specific product. It's a horizontal solution that can be used, as you can see in this image, which you can go online, by the way, and try each one of those examples. It's under solidworks.com, product, online configuration. So it can do consumer products, electronic equipment, appliances, automotive, and so on. So how many accents did you count? The reason I brought this up is, so you've seen different accents, different cultures, which is exactly the same as happens with different tools. Each tool has its own DNA. Each tool has its own data. But that's also what creates this Tower of Babylon in our processes today. And in order to have this efficient and integrated, the secret is in the common data model. So if you own the data, if the data all talks to each other, then this whole process is not broken. Today, every tool creates its own silos. So 3D Experience Platform allows us to have a common data model with common user experience, everybody talking to each other all the time, and everybody are fully synchronized all the time. Thank you so much, and go enjoy the rest of the day.
Awesome, thanks. Thanks so much, Yigal. What a great morning. Well, we do have several sessions where you can get more information about all the products you heard about today. But before you go, we have one more special treat.
Coming up live from Dallas, Solidworks demonstrations that will knock you off your saddle. Platform updates so amazing you'll wonder how you ever lived without them. An insider sneak peek at new features that even WikiLeaks wouldn't report. All this, along with the latest news, weather, sports, and investigative reporting you've come to rely on. Coming to you live from high atop our Channel 3 DS studios. This is the Solidworks News Network with your hosts, 5-time QB award-winning broadcasters Mark Barrow, Megan Duane, and Michael Steves, plus sports with Jeremy Regneris, Mark Schneider on weather, and your investigative reporter, Jan Keeley. There's a reason why we've been voted as your #1 source of Solidworks news for 27.235 years. It's because of reporting like this.
Is this thing on?
And teamwork.
I make this look good.
You see it, don't you, buddy?
Get all this and more right here on the Solidworks News Network. For a Solidworks 2020 preview, tune in Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. Hall D.
Always a crowd favorite. Always a crowd favorite. You're not going to want to miss that special What's New session. Again, that's tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. in the General Session Hall. And then that's going to be followed by 10:30 a.m. General Session. Now, tonight is a special event. So if you are going, make sure you wear your badge. You have to have your badge to get in. There are going to be shuttle buses leaving from the Convention Center, Lobby D, I believe, and that is, yeah, Lobby D, and that is from 7 to 8:30 p.m. They'll be leaving. Wear your badges. Don't forget to go. It's going to be a great time. Thank you so much. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you out tonight.